Hey, what is up guys, it's Diego, and before we get into this, I do want to quickly apologize for not uploading for nearly a week, and yeah, that doesn't seem, too surprising or that big of a deal, but I've been trying to work on being a bit more consistent with my content, uploading every couple to a few days, and that 6-day period was just, that felt pretty long, not making a video, so yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot of stuff for me to cover, not to mention the fact that I was actually out of town for Thanksgiving, and that's not even much of an excuse because I ended up bringing all my equipment with me on my little Thanksgiving vacation that I went on for a few days, and I just didn't do anything. I thought I was gonna maybe work on something while I was, if I had any free time. I ended up not having a whole lot of free time, and any free time I did have, I was just being lazy, and there was just nothing to cover. So yeah, I say I brought all my equipment, but really my equipment consists of a laptop and a microphone, because this channel is not professional, okay? I'm not working with professional equipment here. I also wanted to do like a Thanksgiving special for the channel because I haven't done one in a while, but I was so busy I didn't really get a chance to actually think one through, so I ended up just not doing it. Not to mention the fact that, again, I haven't really done one in a while, so it's not like it matters, it's whatever. But speaking of Thanksgiving, how was your guys' Thanksgiving? Comment down below what you guys did, because I'm genuinely interested. But yeah, this Thanksgiving trip that I actually went on this year was probably the worst and best one I've ever been on. And I'll probably tell you guys a story later, not in this video. We got some stuff to talk about relating to Jurassic World, so why don't we just get into that before I keep rambling. Today we're going to be talking about something that ended up coming over the Thanksgiving break vacation thing that I went on, so I didn't really get a chance to cover it. But today we're going to be talking about the newly released Jurassic World motion animated comic, A Rising Tide. If you don't know what I'm talking about, A Rising Tide is a short video uploaded to the official Jurassic World channel, shedding more light on the events after Fallen Kingdom. They focus more on the Mosasaurus in this video, but based on the cliffhanger it ended on, it's possible they'll continue this story focusing on other dinosaurs on the mainland. This whole video is shown in the form of a motion animated comic, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really one for comic books, let alone motion animated comics. The movements look really weird to me, and the art style, along with most of the things in this video, are pretty corny. I just think that comics in general are very corny, and they're not really my preference. I'm not sure if you guys are comic fans, but I'm just not. The video revolves around a news reporter named Rebecca who talks about the Mosasaurus invading the waters of Hawaii and how it's traveled almost 5,000 miles from Isla Nublar to where it is right now. We get a bit more story from Rebecca, but again it ends on a cliffhanger. And I don't want to spoil this entire thing for you guys, so I'll just leave a link to the video in the description down below, just in case you haven't seen it already. But as far as the story goes, I'm somewhat invested, and it's pretty clear by the way it ends there's going to be more to it in the near future. But again, as far as the art style, animation, and even commentary goes, it's overall pretty corny and a little weird to me. Despite how I feel about the overall comic, I like the fact that we're getting more Jurassic related content, and I like the fact that we're getting it here on YouTube for free. I feel like all of these Jurassic related spin-offs should be experienced by all who are fans of this franchise and not exclusive to specific sites or streaming platforms, because if there's one thing that annoys me, it's the fact that there are shows that I'm genuinely interested in but are exclusive to certain streaming platforms that I'm not willing to pay monthly for, unless of course it's Jurassic Park / World related, because like John Hammond, I spare no expense, at least when it comes to this franchise. While I might not be a huge fan of the style they decided to go with for this video, I still liked how fun this comic thing was. But if I have to admit, I was a bit disappointed in the fact that they chose to cover the events after Fallen Kingdom. I know it's not confirmed, but Colin Trevorrow did say that it was possible they do some sort of series based on the dinosaurs that escaped Lockwood Manor. A couple months back, sometime after the debut of Battle at Big Rock, Trevorrow answered a question that a fan had about a possible Jurassic World spin-off series at a question and answer session at the Collider screening of Jurassic World. Trevorrow answered with this: "If the audience demands, we will provide." Pretty much saying that if there is enough demand for a spin-off series, whether it being something with recurring characters in a specific plot, or an anthology series, they'll consider doing it. Basically, the point here is that if they were going to do a series of some type, it should be an anthology series based on different people in different situations relating to the escaped dinosaurs from Lockwood Manor. I know the events in this comic take place in a completely different time compared to something like Battle at Big Rock, but why put so much focus on what happened after the incidents in Lockwood Estate? There's a ton of other places to work with in the timelines of the franchise. With this comic style they decided to go with, they could have gone more in depth in the events between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Jurassic World. There's so much content for something like that, but for whatever reason, no one wants to do it. According to Klayton Fioriti's video, there was actually going to be a thing with this exact same style called Jurassic World Regenesis. In a motion animated fashion, the story that is the gap between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World would finally be told, but sadly that project ended up being cancelled for whatever reason. To me, it just sucks that no one is taking the opportunity to use these gaps in the Jurassic timeline to shed more light on the events that would eventually lead up to where we are now. It's not like there's a huge problem for me, and it doesn't change my overall opinion on this video. Again, I like how we're getting more Jurassic content, and I like the fact that we're getting it conveniently for free here on YouTube. And yeah, while I do wish there would be more content in other parts of this franchise, there's always the future to look forward to, especially now that Jurassic World is getting more and more attention. Another thing I didn't really like about this comic is the fact that they made themselves canon to the overall franchise. Okay, so quick update. I failed to mention that I've also heard people saying that apparently anything that's outside of the franchise is not canon. I'm not 100% sure how true that is, so I don't know if this comic thing is canon or not. So I just wanted to point that out. Sorry if I got it wrong. And it's not like that's anything bad. I actually think it's kind of cool at the same time as disappointing of the fact that they are trying to align with the events that are, alongside that of Fallen Kingdom and what will eventually become Jurassic World 3. But if they were going to do something relating to Jurassic World in this style, they totally missed out on an opportunity to step out of the boundaries of logic and do something really crazy with the series. And yes, I know that even saying something like that for a series like Jurassic Park / World is something that could definitely get people riled up, as they don't want to hurt this franchise any more than it has been already. Because if we're going to be completely honest, when it comes to the last few movies, there have been some pretty ridiculous and outrageous things introduced to the franchise that I don't think any of us would have really ever seen. Stuff like a serial killer Spinosaurus, the concept of hybrid dinosaurs, the fact that you're able to train raptors now apparently. And it's not like I think any of these concepts are bad. It's just in comparison to the other stuff that we've seen in the franchise, obviously it seems a bit out there. A good example of what I mean when I say I want them to do something crazy in this kind of art style is probably when Universal was going to do a TV show based on The Lost World, where there was going to be a bunch of mutated dinosaurs and whatnot. There was going to be this very large two-headed T-Rex. I think it was going to be called like the Doomsday Rex or something. And there was at one point these mutated three-headed T-Rex with tentacles coming out from the bottom. It was this really crazy idea that everybody hated. When this piece of news, this piece of lost media surfaced around, I think it was Jurassic Outpost actually covered the story on the resurfacing of this TV series that could have been. And a lot of people were just like, they were talking about how glad they were that it never happened and how they were happy that it was canceled, because something like this in a franchise would have been absolutely like an absolute disgrace to the franchise. Like, it would have been insulting to the franchise. But I, for one, and I don't care what anybody thinks, think that this concept is absolutely amazing, especially because this was actually going to be like a cartoon series, and one obviously meant for a more mature audience, which is definitely something that I feel like I'm getting into nowadays, especially with stuff like Primal. I feel like I can definitely appreciate cartoons nowadays, especially ones that have a more mature theme to it and are meant for a mature audience. And the fact that this never became a thing is a little bit disappointing to me. And I feel like that Jurassic World has the opportunity, maybe not to make it as outrageous and ridiculous as mutated dinosaurs, but just something cool like that. Regardless of how this might look compared to the rest of the franchise, I still think it's kind of a cool idea. And again, I don't care what anybody thinks. This is just what I think. And it's not like this cartoon thing has to be canon to the actual franchise. This can easily be part of a different universe where instead of, creating actual dinosaurs, InGen creates these mutated creatures for a completely different purpose. What that purpose was, I have no idea. And I don't think we'll ever know, because something like this would never ever be seen nowadays because of how people in this community would react to it. Obviously, when it came to Jurassic Park, it was pretty obvious, like, just from the first film, it establishes a direction it's clearly trying to go in. So even back then, you wouldn't see things like that. So the fact that they even thought of it is a little bit weird to me. despite the fact I think it's really cool. I don't know. I just feel like if there was ever going to be an appropriate time to make a show like this, it would be never, because of this community and the way they would react to something like that. And again, that's despite how cool I think this concept is. And again, I don't care what anybody says, I don't know about you, but I think the thought of a mutated T-Rex is kind of badass. So basically, what's my point here is what you're probably asking. So the point is, I just feel like if they were going to do a motion animated cartoon comic thing, whatever this is, they could have done it on something that didn't really need to be limited to the events after Fallen Kingdom. They could have either picked a different part of the timeline in the Jurassic World franchise, or a completely new Jurassic story, something that's not tied into the franchise, something that's part of a different Jurassic Park universe or something. I know a lot of people are not going to like the fact that I said that, but I'm saying it anyways, guys. All right, I'm stating my genuine opinion here. I feel like it would be cool if we got a different universe where not everything was tied down to a franchise, where it could be its own thing, where it didn't have to be strapped down with logic, and it wouldn't have backlash if it lacked logic. And that's why we hated Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom lacked logic that we thought the Jurassic Park series already had. And don't get me wrong, the Jurassic Park series does have logic to an extent, but there's some movies out there, some outcasts out there in the franchise that choose not to conform to the rules of logic. And I am looking at Jurassic Park 3 and Fallen Kingdom. And I am sick and tired of us hating on movies that lack logic because we expect the logic. And yes, when it comes to this franchise and when it comes to it being realistic, it makes sense, okay? That is why I'm suggesting that there should be something outside of the franchise that maybe is not as logical. And that is my point of this video. And I don't know, I just kind of went on a ramble and tangent there. I'm sorry. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this, then be sure to like and subscribe for other cool stuff I post on this channel, along with rambles and opinions and whatnot. It's getting late and I'm tired. I've done so much work these last couple of weeks, and that's probably why, along the fact that, with my Thanksgiving vacation, why I haven't uploaded a video. So I'm sorry about that. But anyways, yeah, that's all I say for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please have a nice day.